I'm back. What's good? So the last tier list video did so well, so I just gotta do it again. Like it only makes sense. But this time we got a new topic. I will be ranking the worst seasons. Alright, so we're doing 6 total seasons, and I'm not including chapter 1 or chapter 2 season 1 because I didn't play that. So I can't really have an opinion if I didn't play the seasons. It just doesn't make any sense. And because these are the worst seasons, I made a tier list going from underrated to unplayable. Starting off with Chapter 2 Season 5. This season was known for being really boring. The loot pool felt pretty average. We had the lever shotgun, which was decent, but not as good as the pump. We also didn't have the pump, which was kinda, nobody liked that. We also got the charged shotgun, which was still tough to get used to. But everything else, it was pretty normal, pretty solid, no issues. The middle of the map turned into a massive desert, and the new POIs didn't really stand out. They didn't have much of an impact. So it was kinda boring, and when it became Christmas time, it was probably one of the worst Christmas maps we've ever had, because we only had like a tiny little piece of snow, which was kinda mid because everybody expected the whole map to be snow. There were so many collabs this season, which was cool, but honestly, I would have preferred more content updates instead. The season felt more like a collab season rather than a playable season. Like, we had a new skin like every other day, it felt like. They didn't really fix the sand bug, which was not that useful, but it was a new mechanic that, we would like to use. But it is what it is. They introduced a new currency, which was gold. The thing we all use today to buy heals and weapons from vending machines, all that. Back then, it was used to hire NPCs and to purchase exotic weapons, which was a really nice change, pretty solid. The exotic weapons were really cool. It was just a regular base weapon with a little bit of a remix. For an example, the Dragon Breath Sniper, it was just like a regular sniper, but when you shot a wooden build, it was set on fire. That was pretty cool. The Battle Pass skins were kinda underwhelming overall, but the Mandalorian was pretty cool. I did like that, it did get me excited. The rest, not that good. So for that reason, I'm gonna put this at bad. Chapter 2 Season 6. This was known as the worst season of all time. The loot was pretty awful. Like, we had makeshift weapons and primal weapons. Nobody wanted that. Nobody. Especially the primal shotgun when that first came out. It was so OP that the game felt unplayable for the first couple weeks. The only good thing were the bows. That was a nice change. I really did like the bows. The shockwave bow is my all-time favorite sniper slash bow. It was so fun, bro. They also introduced crafting, which was definitely different, and it definitely helped with the makeshift and primal situation, because you could turn those weapons into regular battle royale weapons, like the regular AR and the regular pump. And the map was pretty ugly. Honestly, it was a little bit better than last season, which was season 5, but other than that, it was straight up mid. The theme focused on wildlife like boars, chickens, raptors, and that's it. That was the whole theme. I'm not really sure why, but that's what it is. The really cool thing that I really liked was the event at the start of the season. That was very interesting and very unique. I really liked the way they did that, and I wish they continued those throughout the future, but they never did. I forgot to mention, the mythic boots were terrible. You might not even remember them because of how bad they were. Nobody was dropping there to get those. Nobody. The battle pass was pretty decent. The skins were fine. No major complaints. So this season didn't really have much of a focus. It was a pretty bad season. I enjoyed it a little bit, but I wouldn't say it was underrated per se. I would put it at awful. Chapter 3 Season 3. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know why this is on here. So I did a little bit of research to figure it out. And people just don't like the season. They don't have a specific reason. They just don't like it. So I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about it. The loot this season was pretty decent, except for the SMGs. This season leaned heavily into a spray meta, which wasn't all that fun, but it is what it is, and I got through it. I'm guessing that most people didn't, so they didn't enjoy it. I don't know. They introduced a new biome that looked really cool. They added like a reality tree. It was purple. It was actually a really nice looking biome. They also introduced a ton of those assets into Save the World, which was a really cool change and a really nice update, and it's probably one of my favorite biomes in Save the World. Other than that, the map changes were pretty good. No complaints. The theme was all about summer and having a good time, which was nice. We had a fun vibe. It was just pretty chill. Later they added Goku Mythics, which was hype. It was super fun, and it made C-Day upload. I know, it's crazy, he actually uploaded. At the time, it felt like a bad season, but now that I'm thinking about it, it wasn't even that bad. Like, I don't understand why it's considered as a bad season. The Battle Pass was solid, with tons of new skins, and we finally got Darth Vader, which was a major highlight, as well as Indiana Jones. Fire. Playing this at underrated. Chapter 3 Season 4. This has the same problem as Chapter 3 Season 3. I don't really know why it's on here. I kind of have a guess, but I'm not 100% sure why it's a bad season. The loot was pretty solid, with the addition of new chrome weapons that were actually pretty effective. The map was mostly the same as last season. The only thing was that the chrome slowly spread across it as the season progressed, changing things up over time. I also liked how they added floating POIs because of the chrome. I thought that was pretty cool. It was fun to go up those things and fly. It was fun. This season's focus was trying to defeat the Herald, though honestly, I don't really remember why we were doing it. Well, I mean, I guess she was trying to destroy the map, which she did, meaning we lost, so L community, we should have fought better. The battle pass wasn't too bad this time around, no real complaints, pretty solid skins. Now, why this season is known as one of the worst seasons. The end of season event lasted so long, it was like 30 minutes or something, and it didn't really add to the story other than taking us to a new map, which still doesn't really make sense. Nobody really understands it. The season wasn't terrible by itself, but the end of season event ended up being considered as the worst live event of all time. I'm putting this also at underrated, cause I am rating it just for the season, not for the event. Chapter 4 Season 3. This season is considered really bad, mainly because of the jungle POI. It was not that good. The loot this season was pretty standard overall, though the boomerang was a bit of a letdown. This item looked really cool in the trailer, but in game, it was straight up trash. Unfortunately, this was one of the weakest summer events we've ever had. There weren't many map changes for the summer update specifically, and overall it felt lacking. The map underwent some crazy changes, especially the middle, which turned into a jungle. It was a cool twist, but personally, I wasn't a huge fan of walking through it. It was really hard to see in there, and I would randomly get shot and have no idea where it came from. The theme was the map turned into an ancient jungle, uncovering mysterious secrets. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but it was in a blog post. I'm just be honest, I just read it off of that, so it was interesting. A new mechanic introduced mud, which was actually a lot of fun. The movement was insane with that. You would sprint so fast. It's a shame it only lasted for that season. I would have really liked it in the later seasons because of how fun it really was, but it is what it is. There were also new plants. The blue ones gave you shield, the yellow ones acted like a stink bomb, and the purple ones were essentially a grenade. Pretty cool overall. This season's battle pass features some great skins, and we finally got Optimus Prime. Definitely a standout. It was a pretty good battle pass. But me personally, I didn't like this season as much. It doesn't sound that bad, but because this is 100% my opinion, gotta make that clear, 100% my opinion, I'm gonna put this at bad. Now for the most recent worst season of all time. It sounded kind of weird when I said it. I'm just gonna go with it. Chapter 5 Season 3. This season might have the biggest split community of all time. Like half the players hated it, but the other half loved it. So nobody really knows if it was a good or bad season, but it's still pretty known as one of the worst seasons, if not the worst. So I'm just going to rate it based off of my opinion. The loot this season was a lot of fun. We got a new crossbow, which was a blast to learn how to use. I was actually getting really good at using that. And we also got a new sniper, which, while it wasn't as good as the Reaper sniper, it was still pretty solid. It wasn't that bad. And then we had the Nitro Fist. This was a great addition for mobility, though it became a bit annoying in fights against players who spammed it. It was almost impossible to fight them when you were like in their box. It was impossible, bro. Other than that, the loot was pretty normal, pretty solid. No real complaints. The loot was just normal. The map was great overall. I really liked the massive desert biome. Massive. It definitely changed the way we traveled around the map, adding a fresh dynamic to the game. I really liked traveling through it. I loved getting the cactus whenever I got shot. It was a great part of the map. The theme this season was centered around cars, and we got the ability to add weapons to vehicles like turrets and those motor things. While this was a big change, it also ended up being a big part of the season's downfall. People did not like that. I did, but they didn't. The battle pass was pretty goofy with some fun skins. It wasn't my favorite, but it certainly wasn't the worst either. Not a bad battle pass. Now for the content this season. The medallions were really cool and a really fun addition to the season. They were different, they were unique, they were actually pretty solid. There were a few different types, like the shield medallion, which charged up to 75 shield, the infinite ammo medallion, and the infinite nitro medallion, which added an interesting new dynamic to the game. Nitro itself was fun to use, though it did cause some issues, like breaking into boxes, running away, overpowering the already overpowered cars. It was kind of insane. The main problem this season, and what made it one of the worst seasons of all time, was the dominance of cars. If you didn't have one at endgame, it felt nearly impossible to win the game. Like literally, bro, if you did not have a car, you were basically a loser. Like, you're not winning that game. There was no way. And now I understand why it was a huge issue for competitive players, though casual players like myself still had a good time. Plus, later that season, they removed all cars from competitive, which was definitely a good change, but it did feel kind of dry, and when you played competitive, it didn't feel like much was going on. Yes, I did play a cup, and no, I did not place well. So that's my opinion. Overall, this season was chaotic, but I personally enjoyed it. I can understand the struggle of others, especially in a more competitive setting, but for me, it was fun and exciting experience. I wouldn't put underrated, and I wouldn't put unplayable. I would put it at bad. So now that you can see the full picture of my board, you probably noticed that I didn't put any season at unplayable. This is mainly because I never had a situation where I just didn't want to play the game. I played every single one of these seasons, and I did have a pretty good time in all of them. But just to end off the video, thank you for watching. I'm going to say this one last time. This video was 100% my opinion, so calm down. Don't say what you want to say. Or say what you want to say. I don't care. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, just do all that for me. And if you like these tier list videos, I will gladly do more. Bye.